Good morning. Welcome to Move More. It's week 16, so 10 weeks to go. And as usual, join in where you can. If you can come up to standing, then that's great. If you need to sit, for whatever reason, do. If you need to just watch today, that's okay as well. It's a bit damp and dreary, so you might be a little bit more achy than usual. So feel free to take a bit longer doing some of the movements to warm up, for example, or right the way across the session. Do what suits you, really. Make sure you've got sprays and inhalers, etc., anything you need to treat any conditions close by, and use them if you need to. Make sure you've got water, and hopefully you're okay to join in with us. Feel free to rest at any point. Sit down or stand and just move your toes, move your heels, so that you don't feel dizzy. So first of all, as usual, you should be used to this. Come forwards, hip walk forwards in your chair, feet are wide, posture check. So lift up through the belly, open out through the collarbones, tuck your chin back, so a long spine, and just lift through the crown of the head. And just feel that open out, take your hands down by your sides, and just take a deep breath in, thinking about getting that air in your lungs, upwards, downwards, outwards. Lovely. And a couple more times, just taking some deep breaths in a great position. We're going to start. I can see some of you have already started moving your heels. So we're lifting heels one at a time. None of these movements need to be fast. You can really take your time. And if you need to take a bit longer to get these movements through the ankles, for example, through the feet, then really focus on that area. Right. We're going to bring in opposite arm. We've still got people coming in. So let's just think slow, large movements. Opposite hand to arm if you can. No, opposite hand to knee if you can. Lovely. Drop your shoulders down. So we're not kind of crunched up. We're not tensing our shoulders. And we've got a large movement through the shoulders. Here, this movement. Okay, not just here. That's not moving. That's only moving your elbows. We're thinking shoulder movement. So that whole movement where your hand comes up to your ears and right back down to your hip, and your elbow stays bent. And we're going to come up to standing if you're going to come into standing. If not, stay seated. So a big push up, pumping the heels at the top. Take your time to walk around the back of your chair or between two chairs. Or if you're just standing in front of your chair, you could have a chair behind, a chair in front. So whatever you need to do. So carrying on with our march, still with relaxed shoulders, but still these big movements. Okay, I'm going to lift those legs a little bit higher, lift the knees. But again, not quick, just nice and slow. We're really thinking about movements here, not speed. Movements, not speed, okay? Keep breathing. So this is just your circulation boost, so you shouldn't be out of breath at this time. If you're out of breath, take it down. Okay, nice wide feet. Hands down by your side. Soften through your knees, and let's just take a little side bend and come up to center. Hold it there if you need to. Side bend and just feel, notice what's going on in your body. Can you feel it maybe in your lower back, in your hips, knees? You might feel some tightness across the lower back. So just make it a bit smaller. Have a wiggle maybe sometimes. That helps to just get into that position. Just loosens off. Down, whoop, down to the side. And if you want to lift that opposite elbow up, then you kind of get a bigger stretch, but you don't have to. And remember that we're leaning to the side. We're not leaning forwards, okay? So lean to the side, pull up, lean to the other side, and lift up. Keep breathing, don't hold your breath. Okay. Let's come back to a gentle march, not a gentle march, a slowish march, okay? So what we do, we're pushing blood around your body, up to your heart, from your calves, feet, calves, thighs, heart, brain, oxygenating your body, warming up through the muscles and the joints.
Lovely. Jenny's going for it this morning.
Oh, have you had your
Morning,
shredded wheat?
She has, isn't she?
Excellent. Right, nice wide feet again. I'm going to come in front of behind my chair even. So a little slide across. Again, relax those shoulders. So try and keep your hips forwards for now.
Patricia, you all right there, lovely?
Slide. So what are we doing? Warming, moving the bottom of the ribs, the rib cage, the sides of the ribs. And by keeping the hips still, it means that we focus more into the correct areas rather than just, if I was just swinging side to side, I'm only really moving my hips. So just notice the difference. If you're sitting, you can cross your arms. Lovely photos of Age UK I saw just now. So a lot of you at Age UK might not be standing, for example, yet. So just that little, or the other one in sitting is this lovely little slide up and down, but make sure you've got a lovely long spine. So you've lifted up through the chest rather than kind of, if you're rounded, you don't really stretch very much. Okay, and back to your march. So our default is back to march. Oh, so you should be starting to feel a little bit more mobile. Let's come into wide and a shoulder raise. So lift those shoulders and slowly drop them down. So smooth movements is what we're looking for. Oh, and wiggle jiggle your head, your neck if you need to. Sometimes our shoulders are stiff and sore, and that means we hold them up here, or your neck might be stiff. So really try and press them down. And sometimes it helps to pop your hands down by your sides. Breathe away. Excellent. And then let's march again. We're going to come straight back to shoulders, but we're just marching in the middle just to keep your heart rates at that level. So we're bringing it up to a level. We need to keep it there. And then we got to endurance and it comes up a little bit more. And then we start to bring it down later. So a little march, keep your heart rates up. And then let's take the feet wide again. So roll through the shoulders. So a big circle. So up to the ears, all the way back, back, back and down, as if you're putting something into your back pockets. Same in seated, exactly the same. If you're sitting, make sure you have got a gap between your back and the back of the chair. So you are sitting forwards in that self-supporting spine.
Doesn't that feel nice?
Oh, it's lovely. And just have a check on your posture. Now, I stand with my bottom stuck out. I always have done. So for me, I have to tuck my bottom under to get that lovely spine. For some, you might kind of be backwards. So try and just think that weight through from your feet, knees, hips, shoulders, head, and tuck your bottom under can really help to just keep that spine nice and long and those lovely curves maintained in your spine. Oh, that is nice. And then let's march again. Are we okay? Are we feeling all right? Now, favorite one, which is it?
Why base way it's got to be?
No, not yet.
No, oh, okay.
Coming down to the feet. Heel, toe, heel, toe, heel, toe, heel. And especially when it's damp and dreary, damp and cold and wet, our joints, if you've got a bit of arthritis, joints can really become uncomfortable, sore, and then stiff because we don't want to use them. So really practice this, heel and toe on the same place, on the same spot, or heel and ball of the foot. thinking about working through that ankle mobilization, that big ankle movement. In seated, it's the same. So we're putting the heel down, squeezing the foot, ball of the foot down, really pointing the toe down. And then let's change sides. So heel and toe, heel, toe, heel. And you might feel a bit of stiffness. If you do, then just give it a wiggle in that position. If you don't particularly like that, or it's hard and you're sitting, then a big circle of the foot. But you must try and get to the outside edges, and you might get a bit of cramp. So I'm sorry about that. Crampage. Heel, toe. Ooh, heel, toe. Heel and toe. Heel and toe. And then let's come back to the march. Fabulous. And then we are coming to our endurance section. So this is the part where you might get a bit puffed out. That's fine. You need to manage it. You need to manage how you feel. So if you feel too puffed out, you take it down. You always come back to this little heel pump.
Can I speak for a second? It's just a thing. Well, as instructors, we were always taught to teach 140 at 140%. And some of you will argue whether that's actually a real thing. What that means is that Pat will completely overemphasize movements, because what we know is that most people think they're doing the same size movements as Pat, but aren't quite there. So you might think you are really marching, but you're not really lifting your feet off the floor at all. It's just worth thinking. Jenny's going, you can fuck off. So what I'm saying is, when Pat says go bigger, wider, deeper, give that a go and have that in your mind that you lovely. And as a result, I can see their energy coming up, Pat.
Yeah.
You're
lovely.
Epic, by the way.
Right, so we're making it a little bit bigger, but it's not faster, okay? Bigger movements will make you out of breath because we're using these big muscles to lift the legs. Oh, keep breathing. So we talk about energy levels, don't we? So 0 to 10, you should be about a 6 at the peak of this little part. So it's about 10 minutes. If you're higher than that, then you need to take it down. If you're lower, then you can afford to go bigger or just stay the same. Okay. Gentle, not gentle. I have to stop saying gentle. This is not gentle. We're challenging you. Back to just the heel lift. So this is your recovery part where you can get a breath. Take your hands out. If you're too puffed out, if you feel your heart rate's going, leave your hands just dangling. You can always hold on to your chair, but pressing down, both hands, one hand, no hands, or just hovering, one finger maybe. If you're sitting, that's great. You can still do all of these movements. Okay, step together. So I'm going to step together, step together. So I'm in quite a wide step here, but you can start smaller if you're not confident.
10 cents, David, are you all right, lovely boy?
Good. In seated, it's that tap to the side. So in seated, it's if you can stand and just tap, then that's great. Otherwise, tap. We'll do a lot of legs. So
loving the arm combos that some of you are still doing as well.
So those of you that have been coming a while are already adding in your arms. So what can we do? We can add in a squeeze of the hands. You could just do one hand, lifting up and down, and then the other alternate. You could do a march in your arms if you're sitting and your legs are tired, or you can do a little lateral raise, which is what our lovely Jess likes to do, kind of lifting up to the side. You do whatever you like to do, whatever you feel able to do. You don't have to add in arms if it's making you a bit more puffed out. Lovely. Good. Oh, you look fab. Oh, what have we got there? We got a little all sorts going on.
Got chicken
Brilliant.
wings, the birdie dance going on.
Yeah. And it was like a row I saw, and then I want to
It's all
go
going
into
on. I'm
farmer
telling you,
mode. Yeah.
they're like, oh,
Back to your
oh,
mark.
claps
Oh, claps.
like that.
Lovely. We like a little clap, especially when we do a little bit of Zumba or
Beautiful
twist.
arm reaches.
Right, come back
Lovely,
to
Jenny.
your
That was
mark.
beautiful.
Breathe. Notice your levels. How are your energy levels? No arms, no arms. Take the arms out. This is your recovery. This is your recovery. So you need to get your breath.
Calm your breath.
Oops. Yeah, calm. Make sure there's no trip hazards around. Okay. Similar, but different. This is one of my other favorite ones. So just keep marching and watch. I'm going to move my chair, but pretend I've got my chair in front of me. Step wide, dip. I'll show you from the side. So it's a step wide, stick your bottom out, together. Now I'll show you the seated version in a moment. Step wide, so it's like a bit of a squat. Keep looking neutral, so forwards and then down. In seated, we're going to step wide, lean, or take your feet wide and a bunny hop. So try that. Wide feet, bunny hop. It might be quite difficult, so alter. Just try, because normally we've got feet back, haven't we? So you can still have your feet back, but wider feet. So it's just a squat in a wider position. And
You right, Colin? Keep pumping your heels, darling.
Take your time with this. You don't have to go fast. We want technique. So step wide, land with your bottom back. Step, land, stand.
Jill B, you look great. I can see this down and up.
Yeah, so that's what we should be
Down
doing.
and up.
Up,
That's good.
down.
Jen's giving it rocks today. I feel like I'm honestly,
Singling
you're
her
looking
out.
great. I am, because she's shining. She's absolutely shining there today. Maggie's desperate for me to call her out because
Oh,
she
she's
doesn't
fab.
stop smiling
know.
right the way through.
And into your march. So march, march. How are we doing?
So visually and comparatively, I'm seeing a lot more movement.
Yeah, great.
So you're looking strong.
Fabulous. Okay. So remember I said we should be at a 6, 5, 6, 7 even at the top. So we're almost at the top now. Lifting those knees up in front of you. Again, it doesn't have to be fast. We're really trying to lift that knee. Now, if you're sitting, you're already at 90 degrees. So I can't really ask you to lift those legs very high. So sit back in your chairs and then lift, okay? So sit back, but still pulling in the muscles around your belly, thinking a long spine, protecting your back. Hold on if you need to. Lift, lift. And not just that, how are you coming up? Toe down, heel up, toe up. So that foot placement again is still important. Try not to land flat-footed. Lift and lower, lift and lower. Lovely. Good.
Lovely. Jess is giving it rocks.
Yeah.
Lovely. And I can see kneecaps on the video.
Excellent.
So
We
it's
like
telling me
to
those
see.
knees are really getting up there.
Yeah. We like to see kneecaps. And I think this is one of the ones you think, oh, my legs don't go very high, but actually they're pretty good.
Violet, you're doing well this morning. That's a nice change of scenery as well. So yeah, good for you.
Right.
Look, she's laughing.
March away. Get your breath back, because we're going to start bringing it down. Just a march, just a march. So we're going to sidestep 2 steps. Now I should be behind my chair. So we're going to go 1 together, 2 together, 1 together, 2 together, and you slide in your hands. If you're sitting, it's a tap in, tap, swap legs, tap in, tap, swap legs. Because otherwise you'll be out your chairs if you do 2 steps. So do what you need to do. You could even do a little choreography if you're sitting. You could go tap and a knee lift, tap and a knee lift. Whatever you want to do in seated. It's a lot of legs in seated. And as I said, you're already in this position in seated. So, oh, good. Together, together, together. Lovely. And then come back behind your chairs. Excellent. Let's just swing these arms. So small legs, swinging the arms, small legs. So bringing it down, remember, we've got to bring it down steadily. So slow these arms down, but big movements. Nice slow arms, big movements. And then we're going to come into our wide base sway, both hands join in, big press up, not a press up, push your hands upwards. We'll do press ups later. Yeah, that's your homework. You can do press ups on the chair. Lovely. How's your breathing? How's your energy levels? What would your score be now? Are you 6, 7? Are you coming down? Can you feel your heart rates? Are you puffing? Are you puffed out? Or is it getting better? You can take a deep breath. Okay, one arm only. One arm pushes, then the other arm. One arm. Relax those shoulders. So this is not really any tension through the shoulders. Excellent. And then no arms, just a sway. Shake your hands out. Ooh, and then just a heel lift. And we're going into balance. So grab a drink of water or whatever you need. Lovely. So into balance. So we're going to do some steps, some reaching. And then we'll move on to strength. So I'm going to have my chair on sideways. So we're going to start now. You can practice this at home actually, but I'm going to show you first. So I'm going to demonstrate. I need the chair. I'll put my chair there so you can see. So I'm at the back of my chair and I'm just watch for now. I'm going to step over an object. Then I'm going to step over with the other one. Okay, I'm going to step back and I'm going to step back with the other one. So you've got something to step over with one foot and then the other foot, and then you're stepping back over it with the first foot and then the second foot. Okay, so up and over.
Just gonna, can I chop your head off for a minute and switch to the other one?
Up and over, up and over, up and over, up and over. If you don't want to do backward stepping, if you're not quite confident, you could step over and just walk back. Okay, lots of options. I'll tell you the seated option in a minute. So step over, and then just walk back. In seated, you still need to step over, but you're going to step, other leg, step back, other leg. And then you can start with the other leg. So step, step, like what we would call a box step. But make sure you're actively lifting those legs up and over as if you had something on the floor that you had to step up and over. Okay? I'm not suggesting, please don't do that now, but that's what we're looking for. Okay, make sure you alternate legs. So my left leg steps forwards, my right leg, my left back, right back. And then you could do maybe right forwards, left back, right back. So up and over, together. But when I come together, you can see that my feet are still apart. So I've always got that lovely base of support. I'm not particularly really wide, but I'm not together. So I'm steady and I'm ready to go in any direction. Step over and forwards. Good. So as if you've got a cat there and you don't want to kick it. Excellent. Okay. And hold it there. Now we're going to do something slightly different. So this time we're going to step forwards and we're going to reach. So I've got my chair. I can hold on. I can press onto my chair when I've stepped forwards, and then I can reach down as if I've got something on a stool. Okay, so I'm looking, I'm reaching down to a diagonal and I'm looking. I'm stepping, I'm coming up, and then I'm going to step back. Okay, so I'm using my outside leg here. So step, move your hand, reach. Not to the floor. We're not going down to the floor at the moment. So reaching forwards, come up, and then step back. So you can see that if I do it face on.
Yeah, you don't have to reach towards the camera because I can see some of your nostrils.
So step forwards, reach down.
You look good.
Come up. And you can see that I've still got a wide base of support, or a steady base of support. Step, reach, come up, and then back. So I'm going to turn my chair around. I'm going to work on my other side. So I'm going to stand at the back of my chair. If you're sitting, have a rest and then come back in. So I'm stepping, leaning. Just try it a couple of times. You might just want to practice the step for now. So this is that lunge work that we've been doing, yeah? Take your time with it. In seated, if you wanted to just step and reach to the corner, you could. Step, reach to the corner. Lovely. So it's that act of taking your weight through that front leg, reaching forwards and having that confidence in the different, going in a different direction, different planes of movement. Lovely. And have a little rest. How are you? Are you okay? Give me a thumbs up if you're okay.
Double thumbs.
Fab.
Nice.
Okay, other reaches. So I'm behind my chair. My feet are wide, so wider than my hips. Okay, I'm softening my knees and I'm away from my chair enough so that if I need support, I can press down on it and it's there. It's not going to push me back, so I can even step back a bit more. So I'm going to lean forwards. I'm going to reach up to the diagonal, come back to a neutral position. Other hand goes on the chair, reach up. Now, what you might feel is your weight coming onto the balls of the feet. Now, spread your toes out. And you can stay here, or you can start to squeeze the thighs together, press down through the balls of the feet and lift the heels. So you're up on your balls, the balls of your feet, and you come back down. Keep going. So not fast, not fast. In seated, nice wide feet. Forwards a little bit from your knees, reach up, and come back to the center. And what you might feel in seated, you're at the front third of your chair again, and you feel the weight transfer from kind of your bottom, your bum cheeks, to the back of your thighs. Oh, and then back again.
You right there, Pat?
I'm fine. I'm reaching up. It's hot. Oh, I might put the fan on in a minute. Reaching up. Oh, as if you're getting something out of that cupboard. Someone's put it right on the top shelf.
Normally me, if I've hidden the chocolate.
Yes.
Yeah.
No, mine are taller than, all mine are taller than me. So they can all get in. Reach up, up, up. Are you coming onto the balls of your feet? If not, it doesn't matter, but just write it down, because that's how we notice progress. Lovely. Okay, so hold on there. Slightly different. Feet still wide. And we're going to reach with one hand across your body. And notice that that heel will lift up. When I reach to the other side, my opposite heel lifts up. And this isn't just good for balance, it's a really lovely little stretch movement through the diagonal planes of your body, if you like. And sometimes we don't go on.
I'm just trying to remember names. This is Love Day. You okay? Yeah, good, good.
Lovely. So reaching up and across, same in seated, really wide feet.
I can see you, Noreen.
Reaching up and across. Excellent.
Some lovely little squats as well they're putting in, like a little dip and then a reach, like that. Yeah. Yeah, it's good.
All right. Lovely. Good. And then let's come back to our excellent, our lovely tandem walk. So we have one foot, I'm at the back of my chair, I'm away from the back of my chair. So if I was to walk, I can hold on to my chair and I'm just going to do a couple of steps. If you've not done this before, you can stand. Actually, standing in tandem is harder because you're more wobbly, I think. Just taking a little cha-cha-cha. No, it's not. It's a little Charleston. A little step and a tap can be quite nice. If you get in a rhythm, for some people, it might make you a bit more balanced. So if you're not happy with a complete tandem, which is one foot in front of the other, you could just be quite narrow. So if you're used to stepping wide, coming into a narrow position can be quite tricky, can be quite challenging. And that's what we want. We're trying to challenge your balance. And also it might just pull on your hips a little bit if you're not used to being in this position. You could do it in the kitchen.
I'm just going to chop your head off, Pat.
Okay, with a worktop. So forwards and walking backwards. In seated, it's the same. In seated, you're at the front of your chair, you're in tandem. You can hold it, you can bring the back foot back. So that feels quite challenging. You can put one foot in front of the other, lifting off the hands or hovering the hands. Using your core muscles here to help you stay strong and steady.
And the reason she's doing this, wide feet, it's like your quad bike or your bike with stabilizers. And then as your feet get narrower, you've come off your stabilizers. And when you stand like this, one foot in front of the other, or sit one foot in front of the other, you're kind of moving towards being on a unicycle.
And can you feel your ankles maybe? Slow it down, so slow it right down, and you'll notice your ankles might be going kind of wiggling, jiggling, trying to keep your balance. So notice that when you slow down, that's your body trying to keep balance, which is why it's so important to get your ankles strong. Oh, lovely. Right. Moving into strength, which brings me to get your bands. Oh, I love this one. Now, ankle strengthener. So if you need just a back rest or a moment, just have a little rest for a second, have a drink. So you've got a band or a pair of tights or something, a dressing gown cord. And we're going to come forwards in our chairs. We're going to put the band between our knees. And I'm going to walk my feet forwards. Are we on leg ones or just main one?
I wasn't quite sure what you were doing.
I'm just doing.
Do you want me to chop your head off?
Ankle, yeah, please. So my feet are forwards, and I'll show you side angle in a minute. And I'm going to take my heels out. So heels are out, toes are together, big toes are together, and I'm squeezing my knees together. Now, I'll take my trainers off in a minute. What you're going to do is you're going to pull up the big toes, but into the instep, so that you've got a big pull up, and you might get a bit of cramp. Put the feet down, slide the toes out, and then you're going to try and lift the outside edges of your feet up. Oh, that feels odd. Put your feet down, slide the toes together, and just adjust your feet. You might need to take them a bit further away. Big toes together, squeeze, squeeze as high as you can, put them down, spread them out. So slide your toes out, outside edges of your feet, squeeze upwards, put them down, sliding in, squeezing the insteps in and up. Can you feel that? Oh, down, out and up, down, out. So it's like you've got a bit of string on the insides of your insteps, and that's pulling up. Then you put it down and the string's kind of pulling up on your ankles and the outside edges of your feet. Oh, are you getting cramp? I'm nearly getting cramp, but not quite. Last time, slide them up, put them down, and then just lift those heels, take that band away. And then I want you to let me know how you felt that was. Oh, some people hate it, so I'm sorry. But
she's not sorry.
I am. That movement, when you're going over cobbles and uneven pavements, that will really help you to keep those ankles strong and stop you going over on your ankles, okay? And if you don't want to do it with the band, you can just try and practice that movement without. But the band kind of focuses, oh, that squeeze. It's a bit mean, so I'm sorry. Let's do our little back of thigh, back of knee strengthener. So I'm still at the front third of my chair. I'm going to pop that band. I'm still looking up. I'm going to lean forwards, lift my toes, put the band under the center of my foot. And then I'm going to hold the band at the end or further down, depending on how long it is or how long your arms are. Now, several movements in this one. So as we lift the knee, hands pin onto the hips. So the heel is lifted, the knee is bent. We're going to, I'll show you side on in a second. So we're going to straighten that leg, press away, lift the leg, drop it back down. I'll show you side on. So we start here.
Sorry, can you just scooch back a little bit on your chair as well? Thank you, darling.
Okay, so hands down, brace through your core. So strong belly, strong core. Lift the knee, hands pin to the hips. So you take out your shoulders, send that leg down towards the floor, squeeze the toes up towards the knee. So you feel that tension through the muscles in the thigh. Bring that knee up, down, let go of those hands. So we're going again, lift the knee, hands on hips, straighten that leg, heel comes right down towards the floor, but just hovers, big squeeze of the toes, lift the leg, let go, drop the foot. So this is a really good one to practice at home. It will really strengthen your quads, those muscles in your thighs, but also the backs of the thighs. So squeeze, let go, drop. Let's do one more.
When you squeeze, it's about that's interesting. That Nick's saying the same thing. They're all sat back in their chairs. Is that right?
No, you should be at the front third of your chair. So if you're at the back of your chair, just watch the difference. So I can't straighten my leg. I can straighten it, but it's up here. But I'm not working the muscles in my leg. Okay, so hip walk forwards to the front third of your chair and then try again. So big press.
So when she says squeeze, I want you to think about your shoulder blades touching each other. So the squeeze is really drawing your shoulder blades together with a long neck and really pulling that band back so your elbows are flaring behind you. Beautiful. They've got it, Pat. They've got it.
Right, let's swap legs. Have a rest if you need to. But what I also want you to squeeze is, so lift, send that leg away. As you're sending that leg away, you're squeezing your toes up towards your kneecap, but you're squeezing the muscles in the thigh, and that lengthens the back of your leg. But we're actually focusing on the quads in the thigh. Sit up nice and tall, relax those shoulders, lift the knee and drop down. So let's go again. Hands on hips, lift, straighten, squeeze, toes up. muscles in the thighs, lift the knee, drop down. So we've got about 5 more to go if you can manage it. Now, this is my left side. So this is my less dominant side. And you might go, oh, yeah, I'm not as strong on that side. All the more reason to go, keep going. Okay, if you can. Because we need our less dominant sides to be as strong as our dominant sides. So lift and lower, squeeze, straighten. So it's a back of the thigh strengthener. And I'm hot. Are you hot? So you might say, oh, I wasn't as hot as I was in endurance, but these are working those larger muscle groups. So I've lost count. Let's do one more. Lift, straighten, squeeze. Oh, and let go. Have a wiggle and turn the fan on. Have a wiggle jiggle. Woo. Okay, so moving on from last week, we've got to keep progressing you. So we're going to practice stand, step away, turn around, lunge to the chair, dropping that knee towards the floor. Now, if you want to try and give it a go, if you're confident enough to do that, or you know you can do that, give it a try. Or if you think you need somebody with you, just wait and practice it at home when you've got somebody around you. So I'll show you. So you can have a back rest, full back rest. And then we come up, feet wide, hip walk to the front. So just watch, feet back, stand, pump, step away, turn. Hello, chair, big step to the chair. My knee is almost touching the chair. Wiggle that back foot away, drop the knee towards the floor as if you were going to get down, and your eye gaze lifts as you drop that knee. If you want to drop the knee, you can. You could come straight back up, or you could wiggle that other leg down. Bring that leg around, curl the toes under, big press up. So that's the lunge you've just been doing. Step in, pump the heels or wiggle the toes, come up to standing, take your time, pump your heels, turn around slowly, feel the chair, stick your bottom out, sit down. So let's go if you're up for it. Hip walk, first of all. I'll come to seated in a minute. So seated, you're just going to bunny hop for now. Feet back, push, heel pump. Remember which leg you've gone forwards on. Big step away, or a couple of steps is fine. Turn around to face your chair. Hello, chair. Big step to that chair. Hands grip onto the side. Wiggle the back foot away. Drop that knee down.
Nice work, team. Really good. Excellent.
Or just drop the knee, come up.
So Violet, is the wrist bone loading is still really important. So if you don't want to do the lunging and everything, have a look at how you can put weight on your wrists, because your wrists are like your instinct when you feel unstable is to slap out your arms. So let's see. Good girl, Violet. Well done. Work on keeping those wrists nice and strong.
In seated, it's that whole hip walk. Come to a bunny hop or a stand. Pump your heels, step back, feel the chair, sit down, controlled sit down if you can do that. So seated, you can be as active, you could just stand. So here's the option for bone loading if you don't want to drop that knee down. It's still that big lunge forward, hands grip around the chair. The weight comes through the wrists and we just take our shoulders towards the back of the chair. All our weight is through the wrists, okay? Come in, come up, turn. I'm going to sit. So hopefully you've done it a few times. And let me know how you've got on. Let us know, because to start with, that's quite scary. And you go, oh, I can't do that. I can't drop my knee. Don't overthink it. You're just trying to drop that knee to the floor, okay? But you need to be in a long step. And I've shown you before, let me show you again. So if I'm here, or if I'm actually, if you're not stepped close to the chair, you can't actually, it'll be really difficult to get that knee down. So leg to the chair. Also, if you don't bring that back leg back far enough, you're not going to bend. You're not going to get it anywhere. So back foot, back and away. And then we drop. Now that's a big stretch. I can feel it stretching in the front of my hips, which is why it's really good to practice. And then we come in. You can practice another way if you're not confident about getting down that far. You can practice here. So you're holding on and you're still dropping that knee down.
Any variation of this is important. It doesn't have to be textbook perfect.
Yeah.
It is really about building that confidence, because what happens is as your confidence comes up, so does the strength in your thighs. And all the evidence is how quickly your strength builds. And then one day you'll pop off the floor and go, oh, blimey, how did that happen?
Have a sit down. And you might go, oh, I don't need to be on the floor. But our lovely Anita, she won't mind me saying, she's got a lovely dog called Angus. And he was throwing the ball around the house and the ball went underneath and Anita had to get onto the floor to get the ball out. So it's not just that you might fall. We need to get on the floor sometimes for whatever reason. And using these techniques can help you to get down and then using your furniture or a chair or whatever to get you back up again. Well done. So let's move on to some lovely stretching, some Tai Chi and some relaxation. Sorry, H, did you want to say something?
I just wanted them to calm their breath because they would have become a little bit more stressed in that last exercise because it's quite stressful, isn't it?
Yeah.
So I just wanted them to notice their breathing and just calm their breathing.
Right, so hopefully you're all okay. So we're going to stretch. So we need to hip walk forwards unless you need a bit longer to recover, because that is tough. You're bending, you're leaning, you're stretching, we're stressing your bodies out. So some of you might need a bit longer to just get over that bit, and that's fine. Otherwise, come to the front third of your chair. So your back's nowhere near the back of the chair, and my feet are coming out wide and further forward. So hand goes on my shoulder, same shoulder. I'm going to walk my fingers down towards the center of my shoulder blades, and I'm going to just give it a little nudge, and then I'm going to lift through my chest. So lift up the chest, which should send that elbow a bit further back. If that's too much, here is fine, or just on the opposite shoulder. Fabulous. Where do your fingers reach? Center, top of shoulder blades, back of neck, side of neck, shoulder, front of shoulder. Just notice it, write it down. Okay, that arm's going to come up and over your head. So that's why your feet need to be wide. Breathe, don't hold your breath here. Lean forwards and just drop down. Wiggle, jiggle. Other hand on the same shoulder. Walk those fingers down, fingertips down. Oh, I can feel that into my triceps. Did a little pump class yesterday. So that's why it's good to stretch. Lift through the chest. And then arm goes up and then over your head. That's nice, isn't it? And then forwards and down. Lovely. Hand opposite shoulder this time. And then you can leave it there or support it at the back of the arm and just extend. So lengthen through that arm and you're just holding it with this other arm. And that just stretches out the triceps. And then we're going to change sides. So hand opposite shoulder. Support. Breathe. Hands come to the back of the chair or your lower back, squeeze in the shoulder, not the shoulders, the elbows towards each other. Just take a little look up to the ceiling. Breathe again, in and out. And then come out of that stretch, hands come over the knees, pull the belly into the spine, chin to chest, a big C shape to stretch out along the length of your spine and right under, so tucking your bottom under right to the very bottom, all the way up to the crown of the head. And then coming up, okay, onto the leg. So long leg, that's why you need to be at the front of your chair. Walk this other leg forwards, maybe out a little bit. Hands on the thigh, a little hinge from the hips forwards, lean. Toes are pointing up to the ceiling for a stretch into the back of the hamstrings, the back of the thighs, the back of the knee. If you can't feel that, just have a breath and take a lean a little bit closer, but no bouncing. And then we lift up, relax the foot off and squeeze the toes up towards the knees. And then we're going to swap sides. So other foot comes out, nice long leg, hands on the opposite thigh, lean forwards. Eye gaze is neutral. Breathe away. Feel that nice stretch. And then we're going to lift up, relax the foot, and then squeeze the toes up towards the knee. And then that's it. That's your stretches done. So we're going to come into Tai Chi. You can sit, you can stand. We've got a few moments. So come up to standing, come behind a chair, or just sit if that's all you want to do today. It's fine. I'm going to have my chair side on because I'm going to move forwards a little bit. So we start with feet wider than hips. And take a couple of long breaths in through the nose and out through the mouth. And just lift and roll those shoulders. And again. And then our hands are going to just lift fingertips together just to chest height. And lower them down with a breath out. We don't worry too much about your breath, but it helps to regulate your breath if you just match the movement with your breathing. So we breathe slowly and we move slowly. And you can add in that knee bend if you want to or not. Okay, so we're going to take hold of an imaginary ball. It's made of glass or glass. And we're going to take it to one side and then we're going to turn it. It's really delicate. So we hold it gently and we bring it to the other side, not too far, not too far. As you get to one side, we tilt it, we tip it. Okay. Maybe imagine it's half full of water. So as you come to the side and tip it, the water comes to the bottom of that sphere. Same in seated, some nice wide feet. Slow and controlled. I'm not using my shoulders here. I'm just moving through my wrists, my legs. Slow and controlled. Slowly, 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 slowly. Not fast. You're guarding this ball. It's delicate. Lovely. Okay, come back to center. So I'm going to bring my feet in a little bit and I'm going to row. So we're going to take one foot to the diagonal and I'm going to come into that imaginary row. So I'm just going to row about 4 times. And then when I come back to center, I'm going to take my left leg and then I'm going to take that out to the diagonal. Or you can just stay on the spot. You can just stay static. In seated, you just stay still and bring 1 foot forwards and 1 foot back. Okay, I'm going to take my other foot forwards and row. So again, not too far, just within my own movement pattern. So I'm not stretching too far. Now I'm going to go back. So I'm going to take this leg, step back, but I'm still going to run forwards. And then I'm going to take this front leg behind me and to the side, and I row forwards. Lovely, slowly, slowly. And I'm going to step wide, so both feet are wide. I'm going to bring my fingertips together. Good. And then we're going to sit. And we're going to come into relaxation. So sit down properly, feel the chair, sit down slowly, controlled, into the back of your chair, into a full backrest. And make yourselves comfy. So hands on your laps, just palms facing up, no tension through your fingertips. Take some long, slow breaths in through the nose and out through the mouth. Relax into your chair or your sofa completely. And just breathe. Just feel yourself sinking into your chair. The only thing I ask is that your feet are wide in case you just nod off. So sitting in your chairs, nice and relaxed. Just breathing in through your nose and out through your mouth. Nothing else to do. Except just be aware of the temperature around you. How does it feel? Is it warm or is it cool? Is it a bit stuffy or is there a draft? Just notice. Notice and just breathe away. Relaxing through the muscles in the face, the shoulders, the forearms, the fingers and thumbs, the belly, the thighs, the calf, and then feet, ankles. Relaxing even more into your chairs. And just taking a few moments each day is really, it's really good for our mental health, emotional and physical health. So just give yourselves a few moments of peace, quiet, solitude. Maybe to just be at one with yourselves or be grateful or to just sit in silence. Then we're just going to move our heels. So we're going to start lifting our heels one at a time. We're going to roll through our shoulders. You can have a little stretch if you need. You can hip walk to the front third of your chair again. Oh, lovely. And then, as always, give yourself a round of applause for another week. Well done. Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you again next week.